My favorite.
It's Judd's Hockey Show.
Welcome into a live version Judd's Hockey Show post-Olympic game. US 5, Germany 1. The pool play is done. It is, of course, Judd. It is Jessi Pierce. Ordinarily joins us on Wednesdays, but always welcome because she brings a lot when it comes to the United States hockey program, including these glasses, which are absolutely fantastic. I expect that you're going to do the show with those on. Talk about rose-colored glasses, and of course AJ Fredrickson as well. And so the preliminary stuff is done now. The U.S. beat Latvia in the first game, Denmark on Saturday, and then Germany today. The grouping works like this if you don't know and you're curious. So on Tuesday, we're going to have 4 games. So 4 teams were seeded and get byes through the first round. The first round will feature a game between Sweden and Latvia, the 7 and 10 seeds now. The winner of that game, because Sweden had a bad tournament, will play the U.S. then in the quarterfinals. So, Jessi, we'll start with you. What did you think about what you saw the past, especially 2 days, because we did a show on the Bar Down Beauties channel after the Latvia game, but the past 2 days, Denmark and Germany, and how confident are you, because you have been very on the fence, despite your glasses. How confident are you right now in the U.S. team as they try to get through the very least, I think we expect the gold medal game?
I mean, unfortunately for Minnesota Wild fans, but fortunately for U.S. fans, Philip Gustafsson hasn't looked super great for Sweden, and I'm assuming naturally that Sweden's going to probably get past Latvia in that the U.S. today against, let's start there first, most complete game I have seen them play yet in this tournament against Germany, who I think we were all in agreement was going to be their toughest competition in this grouping. You thought they should cruise through their earlier 2 games, and they kind of fell behind. They looked off a little bit. The scoring wasn't there until the third period when all of a sudden they were like, oh yeah, we should do this and put this damn thing away. They let teams hang around. Whereas I thought they were very much in control against Germany today. A ton of fun. I think a lot of that goes to Connor Hellebuck too. Obviously he is your guy. I don't think there's any question about that. Curious decision to go to Swayman yesterday. I still don't understand that, but I'm pretty sure that confidently put a nail in that coffin because I don't need to see him again during the Olympics at all. I really liked the U.S. game. So it gives me a little more confidence. I have been on the fence. I've been very nervous. I've been very worried, mostly because I continue to watch Canada absolutely decimate their opponents and not even apologize for it, right? Like Macklin Celebrini even gets his penalty shot. Like they're just having fun toying. Like this seems just like a good old time out there for them. Like, let's score 10 goals. I liked the U.S.'s game today. Tough draw, though, to have to either go against likely Sweden in that quarterfinals, who might be able to figure it out because they are one of the stronger teams despite how they perform through the prelims.
I got to think that we're going to see Jacob Markstrom, who played in the third pool play game for Sweden. It feels to me like, unfortunately, and we'll see how things go when he returns to his full-time employer, the Wild, feels to me like Gus has lost the net. Volstead still not playing, so I got to think Markstrom from the Devils is going to be the goaltender, assuming that they get by Latvia, which I think they probably will, against the U.S. in that quarterfinal game.
Yeah, I'm not sure. What's the correct word here? Has he been usurped? Is that the correct usage of that?
Or I just benched him like Swayman was after that mysterious, weird decision to start Jeremy Swayman.
I was waiting for today for them to put up 9 or like win by 9 because they needed a 10-goal lead, I guess, or victory in order to force a tiebreaker. And that if they would have fell one goal short, we could have looked back to that half-ice blunder, that stinker, that howler that got past Jeremy Swayman. But yeah, I would assume...
He's colorblind, apparently, for the record. He's a colorblind guy, and that's why he couldn't see the puck against the boards.
Does he have to wear, like, color corrective contact? Also, this is the NHL and the Olympics. Do they not have technology at this point? Like, I see circulating on the internet people, like, first time seeing with color-correcting glasses for colorblind... He's an NHL player. Why do they not have something for him? Anyways,
stop the puck. We all got problems. Stop the puck. You're paid to stop the puck.
Yeah. You'd assume you're going to see Team Sweden after they, I think, very expectedly beat Latvia. that makes me nervous. The group play that I saw from the U.S., obviously they win their group, and today I think against a team like Germany, they looked pretty solid. Don't get me wrong, but I would be not true to myself and my thinking if you look at the goal differential and how they played against the other two games they played. It's not like they were these world beaters. Denmark at one point was kind of hanging around with them. Latvia kind of gave them some trouble for that first, and I maybe can push that past that game. But I would say they're super lucky that a team like Russia, a nation like Russia, is not participating in these Olympics, because you would have to assume that another more than capable nation probably fits into their group if it's not Russia, and creates a harder road to the number one seed. But now being the number one seed, kind of throwing away throwing away the top seed, with Canada just walking to the easiest road to the gold medal. I'm a little nervous. About how they might match up against a team like Sweden, assumingly that they beat Latvia. I think they play a certain style of hockey that will make it a gritty, hard fought game that isn't built to maybe get these massive goal differentials like they needed to today. So that's maybe the silver lining here, is that the makeup of the team isn't built for that. But I'm not super confident that they are going to waltz into a gold medal game and compete for that top spot at the Olympics.
It doesn't feel like they are going to, Jessi, overwhelm a team like Canada is, and this could stop, I don't know, but so far it feels like everyone who plays the Canadians are overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And their group was better than certainly what Latvia, Denmark, and Germany. So, but the U.S. feels like a team that's not going to overwhelm teams. But what I will say about today's game, and I think Austin Matthews, who scored 2 goals today, brought this up between periods on the telecast, was it felt to me like the Denmark game, the U.S. looked like an all-star team that sort of had no connection. Mm-hmm. Today, it looked like they played like a team. Now, if you want them to blow teams out, I don't think that's coming. I thought that they might, but they clearly didn't. But all of that being said, I think to AJ's point, Jess, the best that you can hope for is that they can win sort of, a 1-goal game or a 2-goal game. And I will say now, in my opinion, the biggest difference between the 4 Nations Canadian team and what we're seeing now is you have Macklin Celebrini. Yeah. And they can put together, John Cooper can throw out, and he did, a line of McKinnon, McDavid, and Celebrini. Mm-hmm. That should be legal.
It is.
So but I don't see the U.S. Winning by multiple goals against good teams. I think they might be able to win by a goal, like against Sweden. But once they get to Canada, I have no idea. Because, you're exactly right. This Canadian team looks so good.
It's line after line after line. Yes, that's one of their powerful lines. You got Sidney Crosby on the next line. It's just a wave after wave that you're not going to be able to come up from. However, again, the U.S. still needs to get there.
Right.
They're going to have to do it, like you mentioned, Judd, in those 1-goal games. It's going to have to be gritty. I love that Austin Matthews kind of finally showed up, right? And now he's playing more into his game. I love the way that the Kachucks have played, and it's actually really helped the U.S. in so many ways. They're still being very physical, but they're not being stupid out there either. And I think having them on a line together has been really, really smart and effective. And I maintain the defense continues to be outstanding. I got to give a shout out to our boy Brock Faber too. This is unbiased as well. He's had a hell of a tournament, and you can just see the confidence surging through him. And, it's something that you saw obviously in 4 Nations. You've seen him do it before this break as we got closer to the break, but I think he's had a really good tournament. So again, they're going to have to rely on that net front presence, getting in the blue paint, right? Without question, I think that's how the U.S. is going to win these games, if they're going to face Sweden, especially because that's where Gus has also struggled. And the Swedish defense has struggled keeping guys out from in front of the net. There's a lot of really good ways that the U.S., again, assuming they play Sweden in that quarterfinal matchup, could defeat them playing their style. Now, what goes beyond that, it's TBD. But the U.S. is just, they're built differently than Canada. Every team is built differently than Canada. It's not fair. But it's also kind of sick and fun to watch. I feel gross how excited I get watching them. They're just.
Oh, it's a great team. No, don't feel bad.
Right?
No,
they're phenomenal.
They're just a tremendous hockey team. Your point about the Kachucks, I think my pivot for them is preliminary rounds is put mercy rule numbers up, put as many pucks in the back of the net as possible. But once you get to the knockout rounds, it's one and done, and I think that's where they're probably really going to shine more. Because it's that gritty head games, the stuff between the plays that maybe you don't see or notice. And granted, we saw the mic'd up stuff, or what was it, the chirp that Matthew Tkachuk threw at Leon Draisaitl, which
so good.
Such a drive-by, not needed.
Didn't even hear him say Leon, but I knew immediately. I'm like, that's got to be who he's talking about. And he's like, oh, he's the bridesmaid, not the bride. And I was like, that's got to be for Leon.
No,
so good, so good.
I
need it. So
he plays for Germany. I feel bad for him for that sense. But yes, it's the past 2 years there, Stanley Cup history. That's a pretty incredible line. I think they're going to be difference makers in the best way possible. Like you said, Jessi, if they stay smart, because we've seen the Tkachuks maybe go off the rails at times, and you always kind of maybe can see them get tempted by that devil on their shoulder, no, take it another step too far. Take it one more step, see how far you can get. But it's the stuff on top of the crease, Matthew Tkachuk, when he goes into the blue paint. And granted, I want to get on the record and say that goal that was called back, I think that was probably the right call. If Matthew Tkachuk is in the goal crease, he's probably there by his own doing. He got a push from behind, yes, but he didn't necessarily, on the replay that I saw, tried the hardest to stop his momentum from going into the goaltender. But that's how good they are. They know those little things that just are peeved, and they're trying to get you to swat the fly away. And all that takes is one little, mental lapse for the opposition, and Team USA might be able to capitalize. So I think these knockout rounds is going to be where they shine more than, say, maybe the Hughes brothers, if you want to go brother combo versus brother combo.
And Jack has looked great. Jack has looked, and if I recall correctly, because Jack did play in the Four Nations last February, he was awful. I think he eventually got his ice time reduced. He's looked great. So here's what I want to see, though, now that we're going to get to the quarterfinals, that I think is imperative. The U.S. in their first game, I believe they were tied after one. They trailed. Now it was on a fluky goal, but they trailed Denmark 2-1. And then today they scored a late goal in the first to lead 1-0 after one. They're going to, in my opinion, have to come out quicker. It just feels like there's you're not playing these great teams. To your point, Jess, before. I mean, Germany's the best team that they played. But I want to see, especially when you're in the quarters, I want to see a fast start. There is no time now for feeling out. You are, except playing Canada, you are the second best team, I think, in the entire tournament. So my biggest thing in the quarters is I don't want to see this dilly-dallying around sort of, I don't know, trying to establish your game. I don't know what that is. This is an all-star team. Act like an all-star team, be connected, but I'd like to see, I don't think it's too much to ask in the quarters to score 2 or 3 goals in the first period and attack immediately, because it feels like it has, across all 3 games, taken the U.S. a little bit of time. Now, in their defense today, they did get chances, and that goaltender from Germany, who I don't think had played in a meaningful game in his life, like an Olympic game.
In his life. Wow.
Well, he played for Germany in the German league, but he was in the he was in, so he plays in the German league. I think he's 28. He was on the World Championships teams at one point in time. He didn't play a game. So this is the most meaningful game he's ever played in, and he played pretty well. But I want to see faster starts. I want to see 2 or 3 goals, first period, quarterfinal, because I think that will make everyone, including the U.S. team, feel a lot better about their chances, because your opponents are going to pick up here.
It's taken a while for some of these guys to warm up. We talk about Austin Matthews. He hasn't been playing. Brady Tkachuk has been playing like a captain. I can now very evidently see why he is such a good leader for the Ottawa Senators. He is out there every shift that he wants to go win this game. He wants to win everything. And I don't think I necessarily question that, but he was playing like a captain, whereas Austin Matthews, as we've talked in our text thread, he seems very disinterested in being there. But he also kind of plays that way for Toronto too half the time. It's what are you doing here, bud? You have the skill. Jake Gensel's another guy who I think it's taken him a little while to warm up. I was expecting him to come out on absolute fire. Matt Boldy's kind of in that in-between. I think we've seen some really good things from him as well, and a lot of effort. But I think that's the U.S.'s problem, is it's not even just the whole team game collectively taking a little bit longer to get there, but some of those superstars that we were just talking about aren't playing up to that. Like, it's the Olympics. Like, let's go, boys. Like, let's go. And that's where it's almost like the bye is going to be great. But part of me is like, I want you to play again tomorrow. I want you to go. Like, take this momentum and just like, let's roll, because you finally have it clicking. I mean, even in all three of these games, actually suffice not today, but the previous two, again, it's that third period. It's much like the Minnesota Wild, right? Like, all of a sudden we're going to come alive in the third and be like, oh, we can do this. We did this. That's how Team USA plays, which is, obviously interesting given Bill Guerin and John Hines in positions that they are too. But I think it's also on some of those individual guys as well as the team in general getting to that game much, much quicker from puck drop coming up in the quarters.
And that's why the knockout rounds make me feel a little more nervous, because you're going to play better countries. You're going to play better teams. So you can't afford to, have a slow start where you ease into it. And it's like, okay, maybe we'll start playing for the final 5 minutes of the first and we'll get that goal and we'll go into the locker room great. And, it's 1-0 over Latvia. That's fine. Or you score with under 9 seconds left against Germany. Oh, we're fine now. We're in control of this game. If you do that against Sweden, you do that against a Czechia team, you do that against Canada, they're going to roll all over you. And then we don't really necessarily know or have a lot of evidence on how this team can fare playing from behind against better competition. So that's just where my main hesitations are. If they start fast, though, I mean, that sets them up great.
Can Hellebuck stand on his ever-loving head, though? That's my question now. Like we don't know that yet, and he has not had certainly a great year with the Jets. Now, Swayman was a disaster, I thought. Like, that just didn't work out. He made some saves, but he let in just two incredible softies. It's very clear Ottinger, who was the backup today, is not going to play. So, like, you are basically banking on 2024, 25 Hellebuck coming back and playing. And, like, if you're going to talk about, getting through these single elim games or getting past Canada for the gold, he's going to have one of the best performances of his life. And I don't know that he certainly has not had the season this year that he had last, but that's my biggest question. Can he stand on his head? Can he outduel Binnington, who's ordinarily pretty good or very good in big games? He's off his rocker, but that's beside the point. But like that's one of my biggest questions. Can your goaltender beat Canada, which is a huge ask again? Because I'm sorry, but if I see McDavid, McKinnon, and Celebrini, I'm probably going to pee my pants and leave the ice.
But he has good players in front of him. The defense,
that's true, yeah.
Right? Like, I mean, that's where that's going to be your safety. You need those guys to continue to do what they've been doing, both offensively and defensively on both sides of the puck, right? Like, I think that's been really good. Even the PK, I got to give a shout out to the PK for the most part too. I thought has looked pretty solid throughout the course of this tournament. Zach Werenski kind of goes up and down a little bit, but Charlie McAvoy has been so steady back there. Lee had mentioned Slavin and Faber, and obviously you got Quinn Hughes too, and Noah Hannafin as well, right? Like, we're good with all of that. I'm very curious because I haven't seen anything, and I don't know if you guys have or if anybody that's watching has. Why has Otter been ruled out from this? Like, why are we not questioning this? Like, I would absolutely immediately be like, hey, Sully, what's going on here? Like, why are we, I mean, even after that Latvia game, right, we had asked, like, why was he not the backup? Why was he not doing that? Like, it makes no sense because I think everybody's head heading into the Olympics, Jeremy Swayman was your third goalie. I didn't ever look at that rotation to be any different. So to see Otter be not even given a game in the Olympics feels so incredibly odd. And I would love to know why. What was, I need to know. I just need to know.
I think the comment here from Urban TV 89, Swayman has been, I think, statistically better than Jake has, but I'm still surprised.
Yeah.
Like, I'm still surprised. And the problem is Swayman got his chance to play, and it's like, what are you doing? I also saw a report today that when Swayman struggled, they couldn't pull him because Hellebuck was the backup and Connor was going to play today, and they didn't want to tie. What are we talking about? Like 12-year-old kids here? Like if he's struggling, if I like, this is the Olympics. Like, they're there. I mean, I'm the guy who said
experience. You wanted to give Swayman the Olympic experience.
Yeah, but I mean, what are we doing here? What are we doing? Like, and by the way, if you have picked Hellebuck to be your backup for that game and the starter struggles, which I thought Swayman did, I got no problem. Now, I know that the win at the end of the day, you're certainly not eliminated if you lose. But I read that and I'm like, are you kidding me? So you're telling me that the coach is going to be like, I can't play you today, guy, because you're going to play tomorrow? These are supposedly like playoff games, right? In fact, I think they talked on the telecast. Mike Sullivan said, play it like a playoff game. But against Denmark, when this guy's letting in a couple of terrible goals, you're like, I can't play the backup at all. I'm baffled by how this whole event is interpreted. It's either the most important thing in the history of hockey, or it's like, oh, no, junior can't play. I'm very confused by that. End of rant. Sorry.
I'm going to be interested to see who they dress as the backup goalie to Hellebuck, because let's say,
Ottinger
God forbid,
again, hopefully, right?
You'd think so, but the fact that they didn't, give him a preliminary game, I think to me is a weird sign. God forbid something happens injury-wise to Hellebuck in one of these knockout games, but if you have to go to the backup goalie, if it's Swayman, I'm not like his stats might be better in the regular season, but what we saw the other day, I'm not super confident if he goes out there mid-game cold that he's going to be able to stand on his head and, turn away shots from a Sweden or whatever. So I'm going to be interested to watch that. I'd like to think it's Ottinger, but also he just hasn't played. So can he all of a sudden shake off flying over there, being in the village, kind of taking in this experience to now I got to lock in and play goalie? I don't know.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, I need to know again. And why are we not asking these questions? Why are we not in Italy? I guess is what I should more importantly be asking. Like, why are we not there?
I have no interest in.
I want to take in the experience
that far.
Maybe watch a little hockey. It's mostly experience.
Olympics. I'm not. You know what? There's a lot of stuff I'd like to go to. The Olympics are not one of them. Hey, let's talk about this. The trio of wild players, and we touched on this briefly, but Boldy, Faber, and Quinn Hughes, I think have all been really good. And Jessi, you talked about Fabes, but to me, Boldy, scored a goal against Denmark. He must have had 5 chances again today. Mm-hmm. You certainly hear his name a lot. And that line he's on, which is, I think, technically the second line, looks really good. And then Quinn Hughes is just Quinn Hughes. But when you watch those three, because I was curious, I guess my question was, still is to a certain point, especially with Boldy. My question was, is he going to look like a superstar because he's playing like one for the Wild? He's got he leads team with 31 goals. And he, to me, looks like a guy who is like, he's fulfilling what I expected. He's around the puck a ton. They're creating chances. He is not. My biggest thing with him until this season is I thought when there was pressure on at times, he backed down.
Yeah.
He, to me, is not backing down one bit and looks exactly like what I wanted him to look like.
100%. I mean, how many guys I know, Mike Rupp in particular was the guy that said he's going to be the superstar that leads Team USA. So, I mean, he had a ton of pressure on him heading into this, right? He was playing lights out for the Minnesota Wild heading into this. He obviously was great at Four Nations, was good at World Championships, all of that stuff. And Boldy has kind of quieted the noise and ignored it a little bit and still played his game and created those opportunities and created those chances. And even in the games that he obviously hasn't scored in or in the opportunities, he's been so involved in getting those plays started and in those zone entries or, on certain special team situations too. It's a ton of fun to watch. It does make you very proud to be like they play for the Minnesota Wild too. Because Quinn Hughes, every time they mention Quinn Hughes, I'm like, Minnesota Wild member, Quinn Hughes. Let's not
I still
forget.
Can't believe it though.
It's I can't
like,
either,
what?
right?
That doesn't sound right. What?
It's insane. No, I think all three of them have been playing incredibly well. Smart. They've played, there's a couple of mishaps here and there. And I think, again, going back to that very first game, as we talked there, I think that second goal or the first goal was mostly Boldy and Faber, who had kind of allowed that to sneak back through.
Yeah.
But after that, I haven't really seen too many issues, too many problems. They've meshed well with their respective lines and respective pairings, I think. And it's a ton of fun to see because it's just going to carry over when they return from that Olympic break at the end of the month here.
Yeah, Boldy's been fantastic. I'm glad to see he's finally starting to get his flowers, but I still I don't think it's enough. Like, he deserves a full bouquet by how good he's been playing. It's he seems to be creating chances, I think, every single shift he's out there. And because of some of the slow starts we've seen from this Team USA squad, they're not always capitalizing. So the amount of points he has, I think probably you could tack on another 3, 4, 5 just based on the missed chances. And it seems like when you look at the raw stats or just like created chances by a certain guy or whatever, he's been, I think, a top 3 guy in at least 2 of the 3 games, if not all 3 for Team USA. So he is out there doing it on the offensive side. But on the defensive side, too, besides that blunder that you mentioned, Jessi, he has been tracking back the full 200 feet, or I guess is it a little shorter? It's what, 185 there in Milan?
Yes.
Yeah.
The neutral zones are
A little shorter.
is
so.
small. Yeah.
But
smaller.
defensive stick. We know how good he can be. He kills penalties for the Minnesota Wild. He's been doing really good defensive work for Team USA. He had that goal line stop where he kind of got the stick out and whatever. I think that was against Latvia, but he has been getting a little more of the superstar treatment that I think he deserves. And I know we've kind of wrestled on this show. Are we going to call him a superstar? We know he's a star, but like superstar is a different level. I think just how he's been playing internationally, I'm ready to get him up. Like lower tier superstar, don't get me wrong, but
Right, yeah.
But I think he's ascended into that level.
I think, and we've talked about
agree
this
with that.
on Judd's Hockey Show and on Bar Down Beauties too. I think Matt Boldy is probably the most important piece to the Minnesota Wild a lot of nights. Like at first I think it was easy for me to be like, oh, it's Quinn Hughes or maybe it's Kirill. Matt Boldy is making that a very difficult conversation, right? Like he truly is. And I had just off the cuff one game day asked guys like Kevin Gorg and other of our media colleagues. And I think probably 4 out of 5 of them said Matt Boldy in their opinion over the other 2. And I was like, really? Like, that's fascinating to me. Like he is there. And again, he makes a very strong case for it. If not this year, maybe it's a next year thing too, right? Like it's exciting for him to even be in that conversation, though, to make it that close of a race, I think, to even have his name tossed in there.
And Quinn changes the team, the dynamic of the team so completely as well. And then there's the whole case for Eriksson Ek, because he's a center, and if they lose him, they basically got nothing there. So but he is a guy I think we can now count on or he should be great in the playoffs, because there have been times, a couple of years ago, I think that's where Guerin was upset after the season and saying that, I talked to him because he basically disappeared. And so if you
he was gone before the playoffs, remember? Wasn't that why I wrote that story? And I was like, this man has played terribly for 2 months.
But he used to disappear quite a bit.
NHL.com for it. Yeah. It was
he used to
brutal.
disappear.
Great story.
And we mocked you, and then he turned things around, and you took a bow, and it got really, really awkward.
It did. It was my story that reinvigorated him. He was like, oh, I can't let Jessi down. She wrote this amazing story.
Thank you for that article.
All right, yeah.
I was
mortified.
To steal AJ's term, though, where you deserve flowers, and it's not, you're not alone in this, but where you deserve is, and I feel like this is going to bite the U.S. team in the ass starting in the quarterfinal, and that is the presence of JT Miller on the roster. I know he can kill penalties, but let's be honest, folks, they got a lot of guys who are very skilled and can kill penalties. And I'm not sure about you guys, but even watching these games on TV, it's painful to watch how far behind he is his teammates. Like, we're talking about the elite of the elite, right? Young, just beyond talented. Like, everyone for the most part looks like they belong. And they play different roles. But then to your point, Jessi, you watch JT play, and again, I know he kills penalties, but my God, it's like watching a guy being timed by a grandfather clock compared to his teammates.
He wears the C in New York. Is that correct? Is that like
it was a terrible
decision? Like, because he doesn't seem like a great guy either off the ice. Like and I think we've had that discussion before. I'm like, he is awful. Like, there was that goal in particular yesterday where I think it was, I can't remember which one. It wasn't obviously the weird one, but why was he not trying to block that at all? Like, Swayman probably should have been in better position, but instead of trying to get down for a block, he's screening his own goaltender. And then he's just kind of like, oh, whatever. Like, I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. Like, JT Miller, attempt to block that shot. Make it look like you were going to give a damn. Like, there was no effort whatsoever. And it's just, I pity Rangers fans. My goodness. That is
what's he doing on the team?
Like,
but this team, to your
no
point,
need at all.
Like, what are we doing with that one? And I expected, okay, there might be something I don't get here, but so far there's nothing I don't get. Like, Age, he just looks like the guy who's a borderline guy that I guess I am now, after watching 3 games, a little bit more willing to accept is Trocheck. Like, and he doesn't look great, but okay, you wanted to take a character guy, he can kill penalties, blah. But yeah, JT Miller looks like he had photos of someone in the selection process, because there was just, in fact, I saw a case, and it was a good one today, saying for JT, if you wanted his skill set, for JT Miller to be there instead of Alex Tuck is ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, quite frankly, I keep going back to Cole Caulfield for goal scoring because this team could use more goal scoring. But Age, I can't like this one. This one is more perplexing than I thought, and I was perplexed by this when the rosters were announced.
Vinny Trocheck being on the team, I can understand. Like, he's a center, but also I can hear the argument for it being that fourth line killer guy type of thing. I don't even like how he's been playing so far, but I at least see the value there. Like JT Miller, I don't get it at all. Like this was part of my skepticism leading up to it, and I feel like I'm being vindicated pretty highly. Unless there's going to be some defining moment in the knockout stages that JT Miller plays, an American hero and he can shut me up, by all means, give it to me. But frankly, based on what I've seen through the preliminary rounds, he shouldn't even be dressed for these knockout round games. I want to see Kyle Connor get out there.
Kyle Connor's
a killer. Like,
odd man out.
Yes.
Kyle Connor again, though, today, just like in the tournament last year, he is seemingly, when push comes to shove, the odd man out, which to me is weird because he can score goals.
And that's the thing. Today, preliminary round, you need goals to try to close the gap and get the top spot over Canada after they dog-walked France earlier in the morning. Why are you not putting the guy who is a noted goal scorer over the guy who is a character leader? Like, he can kill the penalties. That's what I've been told.
I agree with her.
That's what I've been
He
told.
seems like a jerk.
He seems like a jerk. Like, I've had one interaction that has stuck with me forever since he was with the Canucks. And again, I think the Canucks botched that whole situation too with who they sided on, right? Like, I mean, just absolutely traumatic. But I was doing a feature story on Brock Besser for USA Hockey Magazine, and JT being a USA Hockey guy, being his teammate, I was like, I need another voice, whatever. And he didn't have anything nice to say about Brock Besser. And part of me was like, you're trying to joke, but you're kind of coming off like an a-hole. Like, this isn't really that funny. Like, you're not even like, it's not even like good joking. Like, you were just kind of being mean, talking about your teammate and talking about one of your friends. And that just always stuck with me. And I was like, I don't think I like you. Like, I don't think you're that great of a dude. Like, it was a very bizarre behavior. And I was like, if you're going to talk to a reporter like that about one of your teammates who we're friends, like, I can't imagine how you interact and what kind of locker room guy you are, frankly. And we all know how important that is. Now, it's interesting. Again, that's why I wanted to confirm he wears a letter in New York, because that speaks volumes as to why the New York Rangers maybe are the way they are. I have to imagine that is a very disjointed locker room if that is who you have elected to be your captain for that team.
What's the line from the movie Goon? Like, I'm going to take that A off your sweater, and unless the only thing A stands for is a-hole. Like,
yeah. Like, it's vibes of the old Minnesota Wild regime a little bit, right? Like, it's just kind of that pompous attitude, that very pretentious attitude. And sure, you have this seniority with Team USA and you have this veteran, whatever, but I'm like, but you're not bringing anything on the ice. That's for damn sure. Like, we're not doing anything successful there. I don't know what the value he has for this team, frankly.
It can't be an accident, though, that the Canucks a year ago when he got traded to the Rangers were toxic. Like, it turned toxic, and it was supposedly involved him. And then he gets traded, and now it sounds like the Rangers, shockingly, are toxic. So, like, it has to be. But let's say he's the greatest guy on the face of the earth. I don't see what the upside is there. Like this is an all-star team. Again, this is an all-star team. It drives me crazy. You're trying to build a team. No, you're trying to build an all-star team that has guys that can do certain things really well, but you can't keep up with the play. So, like, that's a big, big problem. Now, there was a is it GA?
Yes, I was going to bring this up.
Says, no, he says Kyle Connor is awful, is what I saw. So let's go back to yours second. But if Kyle Connor, so as I recall, he got scratched at least for the what was the championship game against Canada in the Four Nations in Boston last year. There's other guys who were left home who can score goals. So, okay, I don't think he's awful, but they don't trust him to play consistently. Why is he on the team?
Yeah.
Like, there's other goal scorers. Jason Robertson.
Is he awful, though? Is Kyle Connor awful?
I don't think so, but let's say... But he's being scratched. Again, he's being scratched. Yeah. So like, is he just a good guy when he gets scratched? He's like, oh, I'm fine with that. Like, my question is, if you don't trust him to play in a game like today, or you think he has to come out, and you thought the exact same thing in a massively key game last February, why aren't you taking one of the guys that we talked about previously who can score goals and leave him home? Sort of odd to me.
I maybe it is a Dallas Star. He just hates the Dallas Stars. Can't play
Connor?
Jake Ottinger.
Can't
Not
play
bring
him.
Jason Robertson.
Can't do it.
Don't like
Oh,
short
yeah.
people either. You know.
I don't know. It just seems odd.
Let's
Hey,
look
let's
into the future here, because let's
Yep.
imagine it's next Sunday and
Yep.
you're waking up and it's it's nice early in the morning. You have your coffee and you're watching the gold medal game. It's 2-2. Goals from Austin Matthews, goals from Brady Tkachuk, goals from Macklin Celebrini and Sidney Crosby, and they go to overtime. They're trading blows, right? And all of a sudden, he hops out on the ice. JT Miller in all alone after an offensive snafu by Team Canada. He beats the goaltender Binnington to net it, the first gold medal for Team USA in forever. What does your opinions change? Does your opinion change on JT Miller at all?
I mean,
Don't get me wrong. That would be the cherry on top for this
It'll
whole
never happen.
conversation and narration. I don't think
He probably wouldn't see the ice.
That's the thing. He's not
he's
going to
not
sniff the
quick
ice.
enough.
So
How
he-
is he going to skate down there? He can't move. Like
Did-
I think Trennan moves quicker down the ice than him.
He does right now because he's skinny trending.
He's skinny Trennan.
Did you say in OT?
That's what this says.
I
I totally misread it. It says he said bet Miller. I think he means anytime goal. I read that as OT goal.
Okay, because I was going to say in OT, I believe they go to 3-on-3.
Yeah. Okay.
Like they don't play this out like they would a playoff game.
Yeah. So take back
Well, he
my
might tip a
scenario.
goal in, I guess. I mean, my opinion's not going to change because I'm with
Not going to
Jessi.
happen.
I don't think he can keep up with the play. Like I just don't think he could. Like you watch these guys play, they are the for the most part they are the best players in our country, and none of them to me look glaringly slow, except for him.
I think and that's the difference. I think I had my expectations. I guess I didn't have any expectations on JT Miller, period. But Vinny Trocheck, you knew what his role was, and it made sense, right? Like it made sense. JT Miller, I don't know. You would have just expected a little bit more, right? Like you wouldn't be expecting a question. I didn't need to necessarily see him. Like, not that you wanted him to be invisible, but I noticed him for all the wrong reasons, which is the problem, right? Like there's not anything good that he's done thus far. I only know JT Miller is on Team USA's because of the amount of times he's messed up. Like otherwise I wouldn't know.
And like when guys aren't scoring as much, they're still creating chances. Like perfect example, first period at least today. He didn't score a goal. But Jake Gensel had like 4 grade A's.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, he's not scoring, but he has 4. So like he fits here. I'd like to see him pot the puck more, but he fits here. Like it's literally one of these things is not like the other. It's JT Miller. So like I'm literally saying, Dylan Larkin, I think he's on the 4th line as well, correct? I believe he's a 4th liner.
Yeah.
But anyway, you watch him
he was
play.
up higher at one point.
He might be the 3rd line then. But anyway, you watch him play, and it's like, oh, I get it. He's a really good player still. That's what's weird about the construction here. And the defense is, guys have their roles, but they're studs. I mean, Slavin's a stud. He does what he does. It's not flashy at all, but he totally belongs. So, yeah. Wait, the 4th line was whom? The 4th line, Tage Thompson?
Today was JT Miller, Brock Nelson, Jack Hughes on the 4th line today, but today's 3rd line was Dylan Larkin, Tage Thompson, Clayton Keller.
And Jack Hughes, I think, to go back to the top of the show, I think he's been fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Jack Hughes looks great.
Him and Brock Nelson surprised me on day 1 with how good they looked, and they've continued that, I think, the next 2 games.
Yeah.
Well, and Jack, and forgive me, I don't mean this to be like offensive towards him. I'm surprised at how well he has accepted that role of being on a 4th line, right? Or like being that guy. Like it is something that he's completely, and I think that lends to the experience he's had with Team USA. He knows what that's all about. He knows how these teams are constructed because he's done it time and time again.
Yeah.
But it's kind of surprising because when you hear Jack Hughes on the 4th line, especially if the Devils fans catch wind of that, right? Like they're going to lose their minds, but he's adapted to that role very well. And you can see how that fits and he's okay with it, which I think is a huge point to him for sure.
Yeah, I think a year ago was probably embarrassing too, just because he played so poorly.
Yeah.
So he's accepted his role. I do though have a question about both Jack and Quinn. What is their ability to toe pick at times and just fall down? Jack just fell down. Now he got hit by Austin at one point. Matthews delivered a quality hit. They were well away from the entire play. And I think it was Austin didn't see Jack coming off the bench. open ice. It was gorgeous, but of course not on purpose. But Jack also shortly after that like toe picked, and like Quinn will do the same. I've never seen two guys who are better at hockey fall down at times like they're 6. And they just get back up and they're fine. And they're both phenomenal players. This is not to put them down. I've just never seen guys, a family that is so prone to falling at times. And it's like, what just happened there? And then they get back up because they're both like, oh, whatever. I mean, Quinn still looks like he's staring off. I have no idea. They showed the bench again today, and he's like just staring off into space. I don't know what he's thinking. Yeah.
They have, there's those like Twitter girlies, the hockey girlies who just they're very clever. Like it's a whole group of mostly female hockey fans, and they particularly love the Hughes brothers, right? Which I get for a number of reasons. But there's one that they're constantly saying like, it looks like there's a Victorian ghost that just follows Quinn Hughes around and he sees it once in a while. Yeah. Or they're like, you know what, somebody just needs to reset Quinn every couple minutes and then he's back in action. Like it's just like
he's the Wi-Fi modem. You got to unplug and plug back in, and he's just rebooting on the bench. That's it.
Like it's just so endearing. Like and now they have a very different opinion about the Kachuk brothers, who are obviously night and day compared to Jack and Quinn situations. But I don't know why they would toe pick though. Have we seen Quinn climb over the bench oddly, or is he back to being normal?
They don't show it enough. You can't see it.
It's a shame.
Well, and he's playing hurt, which worries me. But no, I have not seen if he is. He essentially looks like when he goes to the bench, he looks like a baby who's just starting to roll. Because he just puts his stomach on the bench and just sort of goes like that.
Speaking of showing there, and not to maybe get too much away from the hockey, but what have you both thought about the presentation of like the Olympic broadcasts so far?
We talked about it today on the chat. It is beyond ridiculous how strict the broadcasting rights are for the Olympics. Like I had a friend who had, she did like a TikTok video and it was taken down within 5 seconds because there was a minor clip in the background of the video of that. And it's situations like that where it's like, you're not reading the room. And for the NHL not be able to market their own product, like these are our guys. And that's what we want to celebrate. We want to grow and expand it. It is beyond ridiculous to have that tight of a hold on it. Other than that, I mean, I like what TJ Oshie's bringing to the intermission, right? Like I was kind of curious just because I know he's, still just getting his feet wet in this entire industry, but I thought he's been kind of fun to listen to. Today was his big anniversary from the Olympics and Oshie, the Sochi ones. But that's my biggest complaint. Otherwise, I think it's been okay, I suppose.
Yeah, I think it's been fine. Well, there's a few things I don't like. The one thing I do like is brought up here by Zeke, and it's true. No digital board ads, so you don't have the revolving board ads. I actually love that. That's outstanding. It's weird though because for the games now, and this must be a cost saver. They don't have their own production people in charge of replays, so like. Olchik will be talking about a play and they won't show it again.
Yeah.
And then eventually they'll show something. It's all very delayed. But the thing about the content and the inability of the league to be allowed to show the content, that goes back, like that's one of the main sticking points and has been forever is the Olympic people and how Bettman and the boys don't say, hey, we're either doing this, like we either get rights to show this stuff or we're not going. And I know it's, well, the players want to go. Well, that's great. But you literally take 3 weeks off and then you can't show video of the guys that are off. It's ridiculous. Right. I think the telecasts have been good. And what Anson Carter and Brendan Burke, who are the 2 team, are actually back here in Connecticut.
Oh.
So like that stuff, that studio stuff is here. So I think they've got Bush, Olchek, Kenny Albert there.
Today's, did you feel like? Bush is on the benches, right?
Yeah, he's between the benches. Yes.
Did you feel like today there was almost a disconnect though in some of the play-by-play in color, where I was like, "Are you guys? Is there a 5-second delay between you talking to each other?" Like, I don't know if you guys caught that, but there were times I'm like, "This is really awkward and uncomfortable," because then plays moved on, right? And it's like there's no back and forth, and I wasn't sure what was going because I know they're there, and I love usually Kenny Albert. I think he does a great job, but it just today in particular, I noticed, I don't know if you guys did or if it was just me kind of picking up on certain instances, but it only happened a few times, but it was still enough that I felt it was noticeable.
The replay thing that Judd brought up is the one that I think is the most annoying to me, my biggest pet peeve, because on the Brock Faber goal, I think it was Eddie Olchuk. He mentioned like I think Jack Eichel might have tipped that. We're gonna have to look at, and then they showed like they sort of showed an angle of it, but then to his point, they don't give us 7 more replays of slowing it down and looking.
And they've got that 3D look, which would have been great.
Yeah, because who knows? Maybe that shouldn't have been a goal. I'm guessing they probably looked at it in house because there was a slight hesitation by the official where he talked to the scorekeeper, and then they were like, "Yeah, we're gonna go," and it looked like the captains were gonna try to have a word, but. The other part, I enjoy how clean everything looks. No board ads. The one thing that I thought, maybe I'm remembering this poorly, but I thought Olympics always counted up from 0 to 20 and not counted down.
They used to.
Did they?
I think
they kibosh that.
Yeah, I remember that about 10 years ago. It might have been at the World Juniors in Europe or something. They definitely counted up, and I think they quit.
Okay.
And
too confusing.
They've done a pretty good job of standardizing the NHL rule book now with theirs. And the penalty thing I was concerned about actually has not been a problem. There's some different rules, but for the most part, it feels like they almost have a more clear, which I sort of like, and it's going to sound weird. They almost have a more clear interpretation on goalie interference. If you have your skate on the blue, it's going to be no goal most of the time. Wherein I think we talked about this on the Bar Down show that we did after the Latvia game. In this country or in this league here, you have no idea. Like they'll rule a no goal, and then 10 seconds after that, a goal will be scored in the exact same way, and that will be a goal. So I actually sort of like that.
JT Miller will find another way to screw up your team, though. It's fine. Like it won't even be just
that double
interference.
That double screen against Latvia was ridiculous, and that was a great tip by Brock, right? Brock Nelson.
Yep.
And that was a great tip. But I think for the most part, it's good. The only thing that very much confuses me, and I saw it brought up here a short time ago, is the British guy. So the British announcer who works alone now on the NBC telecasts that are not, I don't think until today, perhaps the 5:30 a.m. game has only been on Peacock, which I can get on my phone. And so the British guy works solo. He's clearly a soccer guy. He calls it a match and he talks about soccer terms. But then today, at the start of the Canadian game, I couldn't find the game other than on Peacock. Okay. So I go, and there is the British guy. And I'm like, are you serious? Like, this is Canada. Why? And then I found out that they eventually went to it on CNBC with, I think, the main trio. So that was fine. But at first I'm like, why can't I find this? And then Canada was up by so much late in the game, they just cut out. CNBC just left the game entirely. I'm like, just show the end of the game.
Yeah.
They cut out of a couple of games.
The one other thing that has been annoying me is on the power play, and I think somebody brought this up in the chat too, is the wired cam, the hover cam that's over the neutral zone. Don't show me. Don't show me cam. Use that for replays, and that's it. I want the traditional landscape view. It's so annoying. I've already had to mute my TV when I watch anything that involves people going downhill because I hear the zzz from drones constantly. It's so annoying. But I will say, and I have no problem with sports betting if you do that by all means. It's been really refreshing to not have live odds ticking across the bottom of my screen or no offense. I mean, this is the one that comes to mind because I watch TNT a lot. Biz's parlay lock of the night. It's like 17 different things. And it's like, I'm fine with just watching hockey. Yeah. This is fun.
If you do enjoy gambling, though, I suggest you take the more on the shots on goal. Because unlike the National Hockey League, where they now review every shot between periods because of that, right?
Yep.
The Olympic people don't. Look at the shots on goal. They're ridiculously high.
37 at what did the U.S. end up with today?
I don't know, but teams are getting 50. What I'm saying is it's sort of like when I was a kid. the National Hockey League would just give out shots. It's like, that came close enough.
37-24 today in favor of U.S.
Okay.
And I feel like the Olympics don't care about that because they're not weighing in the prop bets or the gambling part. Anyway, take the more. Put your house on it, Jess.
Okay, that sounds like a smart move. I'll parlay that into JT Miller getting a goal as well against Canada and see how that works out.
Hey, I got one thing left, but before we go, I am wearing my Victory Tire and Auto hat, and there's a reason why. It's because the fine folks at Victory Tire and Auto believe in relationships, and their goal is to serve customers for the long term, personalized, trustworthy, and consistent service. Family-owned business established right here in Minnesota back in 1997. Victory has an industry-leading 5-year, 50,000-mile warranty on all new parts and labor. Schedule an appointment at any of their 20-plus Twin Cities area locations. Just go to victorytireandauto.com and tell them the Sports Dad, that's right, me right here, tell them Sports Dad sent you for $25 off any oil change. That's right, $25 off. 22 locations to be exact, right here in our fine state. Quality work, genuine care for all of life's miles at Victory Tire and Auto. Okay, last thing has nothing to do with today's game. Kevin Fiala. That was brutal. And it looks, I mean, his season's done for sure. It's his left leg again, right? Which he broke, I believe, playing for the Predators against the Blues in the playoffs. I mean, I don't know what to say, but that was terrible. And, you know, the Kings get Panarin now, right? And it's like, okay, we got Fiala and Panarin, and now you don't. So you always know it's going to be one or two teams, and this ain't done yet, but you always know that there's going to be one or two teams that season is going to be impacted and altered in a negative way. And I would think that the Kings are definitely now on that list.
Yeah, no, so unfortunate, right? And, you know, you saw the Instagram post and photo of him. He's had the surgery, season's over. But I don't know. I didn't like what the Kings were trying to do anyway. I don't like that the Kings went and got Panarin. I think that was a terrible idea for them. But they got it for nothing. So fine. Good for them.
I didn't want his leg mangled, though.
Thank
God he's not still. I mean, can you imagine the angst here?
My empathy is there, but it's, you know, I don't know. Sure.
I don't like the Kings anyway.
Kings. Yeah. Whatever.
They're not the Stars.
They're not the Stars or the Jets or, you know, the Ducks. I could name a bunch of different teams that I'd care about more than them.
The silver lining for them is it's not like they mortgage their future on trading for Panarin.
Right.
Like that's, I mean, as much as it sucks, like from the business hockey side of things, personally wise, it stinks. I mean, I still like Kevin Fiala as a player. I think he is fun to watch. You know, I don't think the trade has worked out the best for the Kings side of that. The Wild, I think, have won that by a landslide now with just how Brock Faber has developed and everything like that. But Fiala definitely reaped the benefit, I think, of playing with Kaprizov while here. Still, you hate to see that. For the biggest fear that we've talked about for on the show of guys going to the Olympics is significant injuries. That's a significant injury.
Yeah.
And nobody that gets hurt there is going to be, you know, a minor loss to any team. So for a team like the Kings, who are probably trying to capitalize for, you know, Drew Doughty's later years in the NHL and stuff like that, huge loss. So you got to feel for him. Hopefully full recovery, and it's not anything that lingers and like is detrimental to his career in the future.
Absolutely.
He's still pretty young, right? Like he's not. I mean, he's under 30.
He's got to be around 30,
under 30,
right?
But I bet you he's like 27, 28 now.
Well, and he's now, if I'm correct, he's now mangled that same leg twice.
That's the part
that was that was a fibula. Was this the same? I mean, it's the same type of.
I don't know what
thing,
it was, but I mean, but my point is, like at some point in time, your skating speed is going to start to wane because of that, right?
Maybe
you'd have,
maybe
and that's a guy who is like a silky skater. So
yeah.
I love one last shout out to Kevin Fiala. I do love that he would always throw it back at us if we were like critical. I think there was one instance where we were like, well, do you think you could have maybe scored more? He's like, I don't know. Do you think I could have scored more? I was like, yeah, kind of, actually. Like,
he's 29, by the way.
Yeah, that's not good. This is not good. It's not trending well. Hey, I just saw a request. So before we go, let's do this. In the preliminary round, which is on Tuesday, I'm going to give you the matchups. Give me your expected upset. So give me, of the 4 games I'm going to give you, give me an upset. Okay. So Swiss, which is ranked, the Swiss are ranked 5th, or I should say seeded 5th, against the number 12 Italians. Germany, which is seeded 6th, against France, which is seeded 11th. Sweden 7 versus Latvia 10. Czechia 8 versus Denmark 9. Do you see an upset in any of those 4 games?
Czechia has 8 to Denmark's 9.
Yes.
I don't even think that's.
No,
me some
France and
more.
Italy were rough. Like they were,
Yeah.
they were rough. It'd be
Latvia.
a lot. Yeah, if
It'd be
you're
Latvia
if
if
you
Gus
have to
just
pick one,
sieves
it'd
out or
have
Markstrom
to.
sieves out.
Well, and didn't Italy keep it a game against Sweden too? Like Sweden, do we have a problem in Sweden?
Well,
Like,
we
are
have a
they not
goal-
as good as we have expected them to be?
I
Yeah,
think we got
ABBA
a
hasn't released a
goaltending
new
problem.
album in a while.
Sweden 5-2 against the Italians on Wednesday in Group B play.
Yeah, so I mean that's tight for how much Italy got pounced on by everybody else. Like
Well-
for Sweden to be there.
I'll go Latvia.
I would say that, yeah, of those 3, I just don't see the other ones being realistic. And it's hard to call a 9 over an 8 an upset, but I also don't think that they
Right.
would beat Czechia either anyway.
Agreed.
Yeah, I don't see any other. I don't see any others that could
France
be.
beating Germany.
You know what?
Always
yeah.
the bridesmaid,
No,
never the bride.
Does Draisaitl really care?
I love
doesn't.
it. I just love it so much. I
Yep.
just think it's so
Well, and it was so
So
clean.
true. It was
No
so
F-bombs,
clean.
no nothing.
no, it was
Matthew Kachuk just like yells at him.
just always, well, you know what? And I think the announcers, or somebody brought this up when I was listening, and they were like, Kachuk has been in Leon's head since Matthew was in Calgary, right? Because you have
course.
the Edmonton Calgary series, and then you get the Florida Edmonton series too. And it's just like he probably just taunts. And I don't, but yeah, Leon seems like you're very burly man who doesn't care and would even probably chuckle at that. Like that's pretty funny.
Draisaitl never seems like he's having any fun.
No, there's a
Germany
clip
can't
of
smile.
him. There's a clip of him like pregame where somebody clearly off camera is like trying to joke around, whether it's a trainer or somebody like on the staff, and he does like the and he turns and it's just like serious, like shut up, stop talking to me.
That's
I
him.
love him. I love
That's
it.
him.
He's like Ryan Hartman a little bit, except like with more skill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing is a lot more skill, but he looks miserable.
Smoking cigs, just passing back darts and drinking beers. Like,
I can
yeah.
see him doing that. Oh yeah.
That's what they did for his like 1000th game t-shirts. There was a picture of him with his cigarette hanging out of
right.
his mouth. It was brilliant.
That's right. That's right. So, Age, are you going with the French to beat Germany?
No, I'll be a little different here. I'll say the hometown crew of Italy maybe upsets the Swiss.
Wow, with no
I-
NHL players, right? That's awesome.
Yeah, why not?
Loved it.
For the record, I don't think any of them are actually going to get upset. I think it's going to be about as chalk as possible, but why not? Why not Milan and Cortina rally around their Italiano boys?
All the
and,
nonas are going to be so happy.
Why not?
I got to be honest. I am a little bit concerned about Sweden now. They'll probably advance, and clearly we want the U.S. to beat them. But all of that being said, I'm a little bit concerned about Gus Bust.
It's not great. And the curious thing is you're going Markstrom instead of Valstead. That's how
That's
they'll play
what
out.
they did the last
right?
game of the group play.
Seniority,
And
I
they
think,
won.
carries a lot of weight here. Hence JT Miller, and I think that
Shame.
extends past the U.S. Markstrom is their next go-to guy if they're not going with.
He's not
with
very
Gus.
good.
No, he's been a mess too. And
Yeah.
so Sweden beat on Saturday. Sweden beat Slovakia in Group B 5-3, and that was Markstrom. But I'm just if they go back to Gus, I'm a little bit concerned because he's just not looked good. I mean, he has looked like exactly the type of guy that scares you in the playoffs because he's not making the saves and I'm talking some really big time saves, but he's just not making the saves that you need.
I would say it's not going to be the worst thing in the world if they go Markstrom and he like you said, he sieves it up and then they're back home and not playing anymore and they get to actually rest a little bit before the NHL season resumes. That's about as best case scenario for Minnesota Wild fans right there.
I'm just a little bit concerned too, though, about the playoffs here. Then flashbacks to his games for Sweden in the Olympics as
They're not trade
pucks
yet.
are as Dallas as the Stars are, pucks are flying by him. Well, that's the thing too. That's not a bad point. That's
So now
not a bad point.
so you get this. You get Slovakia versus either France and Germany, right?
Mm-hmm.
Finland versus either the Swiss or Italy. Canada will either get Czechia or Denmark. Okay.
Correct.
Sorry, I was just running this scenario through
Correct.
my prediction of no medal, if that seems feasible or not. But
I think they're going to win a
Crazy.
medal. I just don't. I mean, I guess if they lose to Sweden, they won't. But I mean, you've been so negative this whole time, Jess. I just can't believe it. Like our show
I
is
don't
all
want
about
to be, but
lifting people up, and you're just been so negative, and yet you've got those glasses.
I have so much USA gear.
If
But
you
I
had
was
I
trying to
know.
be a realist.
Which you have paid zero for, the influencer.
I
if
know.
you had to do
Influencer folks.
percentages, gold percent they win that, silver percent they win that, bronze not medal at all. Where do you give me a off the dome like percentages? Because I think it's like
3% chance they win the gold.
okay.
That's little. I know. I'm very well aware. I will. No, I'll bump it up to 5 because I'm not good at math, and 5 is easier to work with. So we'll go with that, and then maybe a 75% chance they win bronze.
Okay, so you're looking at 20% left.
Yep, for silver. So now I'm feeling medal. That's I don't know. Take away 10. I don't know.
Well,
I
you
don't
still
know.
got to get
Math.
what's the chance they don't even medal at all, Jessi?
I still think that's a high chance. It's higher than people want it to be.
Well, then you gotta
Okay, so let's do
redo
that
your
math
pie
then.
chart there.
Redo the pie chart.
Yeah, you got to get that percentage in there. Then.
This isn't looking great for Iowa State college education.
No, it's not at all.
It's
And you're probably still making payments.
45% chance they don't medal at all.
No.
Whoa.
Are you serious?
Is that crazy? No,
That's in I'm sorry, that's
35%
crazy.
chance. 35% chance.
I mean, I think at the very
35.
least right now, I'm expecting bronze.
I think it's a 10% chance they don't medal. At best. Like I think it's about a 50-50 that they take a bronze.
Anything can happen. I feel like people keep forgetting that anything can happen.
Oh, that's true. But I
That's
mean,
true.
that goes both ways.
But,
Right?
you,
Like,
but
they
you're but
could.
you're saying like better than 1 in 3 times they don't even get to a podium now.
But I said that from the get. Like I also want to be
Yeah.
true to what I've been saying. Like
So you want to be right.
I want to be right, obviously.
That's fair.
All right.
I just
All
think
right,
this team is
kids.
built better for knockout rounds.
All right, kids, we're done. To all of you who tuned in to this live episode of JHS, much appreciated. Don't forget, you are finding us now at the new Judd's Hockey Show channel. Please like and subscribe. Give us a rating that is a gold medal like. We appreciate that, as well as we're trying to build up this community. Jessi will be back with us on Wednesday. Age and I will be back at some point, probably on Tuesday now. But we'll talk to you soon. Appreciate you again tuning in. Judd's Hockey Show. See you later.